How's it going, guys? It's Adam from Clayton Off-Road. Today we're going to show you how to install our new JL steering stabilizer relocation bracket. It comes with two brackets, one that goes on the axle side and then one that goes on the tie rod. So we're here with Clayton from Clayton Off-Road, and we're just going to go through the general procedure of how to uninstall the factory components and what's involved in installing our new brackets. So we've already test fitted this and obviously done some testing research, so some of this stuff's already loose, but long story short, step one, if you put your Jeep up on jack stands, you can just move the wheel back and forth easily like we just showed you. You're going to undo your drag link, and then if you turn it all the way to the right, it will clear and you can drop it out of the way. Next, remove your factory steering stabilizer and the steering stabilizer bracket. The bracket will not be reused. This kit was designed that you can reuse your factory steering stabilizer, or you can upgrade to Fox or Bilstein, or possibly others. We've tested the Bilstein and the Fox, so you at least have a few options. So this bracket is held in place by a new track bar hardware. So the kit comes with a 9/16 grade 8 bolt. And there's also a flange. It's got what's called a top lock on it. So that goes in the back. You're going to screw it in by hand. And then the top lock, basically it's deformed threads, so it just makes sure that it stays nice and tight. You're going to want to torque this bolt to 146 foot-pounds. This bracket was designed, can be used on both the JL and the JK. That's why you see two holes in the bracket here. On the JL, you do have to drill a 3/8 hole. We've already done this. On a JK, it should just line up with the factory hole. One thing we did keep in mind is we wanted to make sure you can still get a wrench on that track bar bolt. A lot of times people have problems with bolts loosening up, which could cause death wobble. So we made sure that even after the bracket is installed with the steering stabilizer in place, you can still get to your track bar bolt, so you can check it and make sure it's properly torqued. So you get new U-bolt clamps. It's a pretty tight fit around the steering, so we find starting down at this end helps to get it to slide down. At first we'd recommend just kind of snugging it up so you can still slide it back and forth. Instructions will give you more information about torque specs and starting point on this bracket. But depending on the steering stabilizers you have, you might need to slide that back or forth a little bit. Should roughly be about 18 inches from that factory point right there, right where the tube slides in, to the back side of that bracket. So once you figured out your dimension, you may need to test fit it, but you will need to snug up those bolts before you install your new steering stabilizer, as pretty much those bolts will be hidden by it. Make sure to snug those up to the proper torque spec. And we're going to go with this Fox 2.0 performance steering stabilizer. Make sure to use the included spacer and washer, and then it should basically just bolt right back into location. So you can see having the truck up on jack stands, being able to just move the wheels back and forth makes it easier. Depending on which bolts you're installing where, you might need to move the tie rod one way or another to get the drag link in and out, to get this hardware in and out. So put it up on jack stands and the rest of the install should go fairly easy. That part's done. Put the drag link back in. And we're almost done. We're going to go through checking to make sure we retighten all the hardware, retorque obviously the drag link. But basically you're going to gain a lot of ground clearance, and gives you the ability to use pretty much any steering stabilizer you want. So we're going to finish up tightening down all the hardware. Suggest you use the instructions for all torque specs and proper procedures, but this should give you a general idea of what's involved. It's fairly straightforward. If you guys have any questions, comments, let us know. Thank you.